Sabrina. Today I'm here with my August library book haul. I have 5 books to talk to you about today. So, yeah. I have one repeat that I'll just quickly get out of the way. That's Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. I'm currently 202 pages into this. Got on my short reading slump before, like, the days before we had to go to the library. So, I didn't end up finishing this, even though I really wanted to. And yeah, I'm gonna be finishing this before the end of the month, hopefully. I don't really know how to explain this book because I don't know how much I can explain without things being like considered spoilery, so I'm just gonna read the back as it isn't that long. Imagine leaving your house in the middle of the night knowing your mother is doing her best but she's just as scared as you. Imagine starting a new school, making friends, seeing how happy it makes your mother, hearing a voice calling out to you. Imagine following the signs into the woods, going missing for 6 days, remembering nothing about what happened. Imagine coming back a totally different person, thinking you're going crazy or being the only one who knows what's coming. Imagine something that will change everything and having to save everyone you love. Yeah, this is by the author of the books Green Wallflower. And just to repeat things I said last month, I've been trying to get into horror this year, and even though there's a chunky one, which might not be the best way to start, I just thought that having a book written by an author that I already loved the book from previously might be helpful. So yeah, and so far I'm enjoying this, but also I don't think I've gotten to like the big horror parts yet. So who knows what's gonna come, right? And then all the new books I got this month all happen to be by Black authors. I didn't intend for this to happen, but it happened. Let's start with the most topical one, and that's Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. This book is being read by so many book clubs right now. It's being read by the Mean Girls musical book club. They are doing like a summer book club, and the first book they read for that is The Hate You Give, and now they're reading this book. This was the reading, like the group book for the Reading Wish, which ended up being a mess. And by the way, what I just want to say about like the whole Reading Wish thing, people are just saying like, oh, you shouldn't be so sensitive about this stuff, but at this, even just taking out the factor that this is about a black woman written by a black author, just taking that aside, making a readathon, like the biggest readathon in the online book community, like being the host, like being the maker, the creator of that, and putting in a group book and then barely advertising it so that most participants don't know that that was a group book, and then not reading it is just like unprofessional. Like, that's so unprofessional, just disregarding the topic of the book. And then of course having the book being about white performative activism and shit like that, it definitely doesn't help. But I have heard, there are a lot of people still that read this for the readathon and that absolutely loved this book. I've heard nothing but like fantastic reviews for this book, so it made me really excited to read it. The next book I have is Piecing Me Together by Renee Watson. I don't remember exactly what this book is about. I knew what this book was about at one point because I've had this from the library before and just like didn't get around to it because that's the person I am. I don't like, my biggest priority is always physical books or galleys because they have a time frame. So library books like are just, if I have something I'll have it over. But I have heard amazing things about Renee Watson and her books, and they just make me like excited to read her books. And this is the only one that has been translated in Dutch that I can recall. At least it's the only one my library has. So I'm really hoping to like get to it this month. And then I have 2 books by the same author, also both historical fiction, which was another goal of mine this year, to read more historical fiction. So there we are. The first one is The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. And this is a fictionalized account of like the Underground Railroad, and it is compared to like Alice in Wonderland a little bit on the back. So I am really excited. Again, this is a book that I've heard amazing things about in the past, and I've been meaning to check out and just like haven't because I'm forgetful. Like, now it is recommended if you go to the library to make a list beforehand, which I did, so I remember certain books, when it comes to like adult fiction, I always forget that adult fiction exists. I usually just like check out the YA section and just like grab books I recognize. So I always forget about adult books. So now that I'm like not really forced, but now to make it for myself easier as well, I make lists now. It just I'm like, oh yeah, adult fiction also exists. So that's why I finally thought of it this time. And I also have The Neko Boys by Colson Whitehead, which has to do, in the back it says that it is in the time frame of the Jim Crow racial laws, it says on the back. I don't know if that's the, and yeah, I definitely don't know anything about that, which I feel kind of ashamed about, so I should learn more about that. And again, this is one I've heard great things about. In fact, right before I left for the library, I like scrolled through my Goodreads to just like see the updates, and I saw a review from Kat, which I believe her channel is called Paperback Dreams, and it was a 4-star review, and I was like, it's meant to be, because I was planning to take this book from the library. And that's really all I have to say today. Library book hauls, I don't really know what to talk about because I don't like knowing a whole lot about books before I start reading them. I usually know like a general premise and nothing more, and sometimes I once knew the entire plot, like the entire synopsis, and I don't anymore because it's been a while. So yeah, I don't really know what to say, but I want to make library book hauls because we should support libraries more. I don't really know what this video was, but I guess I'll see you guys next time.